Hypatia. Jordan Sigai. Information. Born in 335 CE in Alexandria, Egypt. Died in March 415 CE in Alexandria, Egypt. Hypatia was the daughter of Theon of Alexandria, himself a mathematician and astronomer, and the last attested member of the Alexandria Museum. Hypatia was an Egyptian mathematician, astronomer, and philosopher who lived in a very turbulent era in Alexandria's history. She is the earliest female mathematician of whose life and work reasonable detailed knowledge exists. Hypatia was a Neoplatonist. Neoplatonism is a modern term used to designate the period of the Platonic philosophy beginning with the work of Plotinus and ending with the closing of the Platonic Academy by Emperor Justinian in 529 CE. Lifestyle. Hypatia was an extraordinary woman not only for her time but any time. Theon refused to impose upon his daughter the traditional role assigned to women and raised her as one would have raised a son in the Greek tradition, by teaching her his own trade. Greek women of all classes were occupied with the same type of work, mostly centered around the domestic needs of the family. Women cared for young children, nursed the sick, and prepared food. Hypatia led the life of a respected academic of Alexandria's university, a position to which only males were entitled previously. Hypatia never married and remained celibate throughout her life, devoting herself to learning and teaching. Educational background. Theon, her father, was a well-known scholar and professor of mathematics at the University of Alexandria, at a time when mathematics and sciences were considered heresy by the Christians. Because Theon raised Hypatia in a world of education, he influenced Hypatia's enthusiasm for mathematics and sciences as she grew older. Hypatia received education from her father, at a time it was unusual for a woman to receive formal education. It is believed that she surpassed her father's knowledge at a very young age. Hypatia was a strong believer in the importance of education. Mathematical contributions. Hypatia is famous for editing the work of the conics of Apollonius. The work divided cones into different parts by a plane. This concept developed the ideas of hyperbolas, parabolas, and ellipses. She wrote the astronomical canon. She is thought to have assisted Theon with the edits of Almagest of Ptolemy and the elements of Euclid. She designed an astrolabe, which is a tool that determines the altitudes of the stars and planets, as well as a hydroscope, which is used to view objects far below the surface of the water. Gossip. The only rumor about Hypatia is being accused of witchcraft. Church Chronicle, John of Nicaea, explained that she beguiled many people through satanic wiles. It was Hypatia's witchcraft that kept the prefect Orestes away from the church and made him corrupt the faith of other Christians. Also, she was involved in divination and astrology, devoted at all times to magic, astrolabes, and instruments of music. Death. In 415 CE, on her way home from delivering her daily lectures at the university, Hypatia was attacked by a mob of Christian monks. They dragged her from her chariot down the street into a church and was there stripped naked, beaten to death, and burned. In the aftermath of her death, the University of Alexandria was sacked and burned on orders from Cyril, pagan temples were torn down, and there was mass exodus of intellectuals and artists from the newly Christianized city. Cyril was later declared a saint by the church for his efforts in suppressing paganism and fighting for true faith. Hypatia's death has long been recognized as a watershed mark on history, delineating the classical age of paganism from the age of Christianity. Agora, movie about Hypatia, a historical drama set in Roman Egypt, concerning a slave who turns to the rising tide of Christianity in the hope of pursuing freedom while falling in love with his mistress, the famous philosophy and mathematics professor Hypatia of Alexandria. 127 minutes of pure great history with a bit of a twist. References